And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Kyle Arking, who writes, "Hi, John, Rob, and Erin. Sony has delayed Venom, Let There Be Carnage to October 15th. It's not a huge delay, but it will now release the same weekend as Halloween Kills. Is this a mistake? These films both revolve around action horror-based characters and may entice similar audiences. What do you think? Thanks." All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yeah, so news broke yesterday. I remember because I started seeing a flurry of panic things on Twitter saying, Venom's been delayed again. Venom's been delayed. And I'm like, oh my God, was it opening in like now summer of 22? Is it going to open in like March of 2022? Is it going to open in September of 2022? What is it? They moved it 3 weeks. So it's anything less, I think, than 60 days to me is not really delaying it. I call it a move rather than a delay, but they did move it. They moved it 3 weeks. And so that part's not tremendously interesting to me. It's not really, doesn't add much to the weight for it. The more interesting thing to me is what Kyle brought up in the message, which is, well, my goodness, this now has it opening on the same day as Halloween Kills, which, Rob, I know you're not as tremendously excited about as I, because you didn't like that last Halloween movie as much as I did. But
the trailer looked good.
Yeah, the trailer looks good. I'm very excited for this new Halloween film because I did love the last one as well. That is, because you're not wrong, Kyle. A traditional horror movie versus a comic book movie doesn't sound like it's really going for the same demographic. But when you know this Halloween and you know this Venom, you're right. I think they're going to be appealing a lot to many of the same people in the same demographic. And so it's going to be interesting to see these two movies opening up on the same weekend. As for me, I love it. This gives me a double header weekend that I can look forward to now quite a bit over the next 2 months that I'm very, very excited about. So I cannot wait to see it. But it is an interesting move. The question now, a lot of people made the assumption, and understandably why, that this move was made as a result of the Delta variant. As I looked through, though, guys, I never found a single thing where Sony actually said that had anything to do with the reason. And my guess would be, if you were going to move your movie as a result of the pandemic, wouldn't you move it more than 3 weeks? I feel like they would have moved it to December or February or something like that. But again, maybe it was because of the pandemic. I'm just saying I never saw anything where Sony themselves said that we're moving this because of the pandemic, although some people have made that assumption. So now here we have it. It is being moved. And it does raise the question, will this make other ones move as well? Well, maybe yes, maybe no. We don't know. I do know I'm still looking for this movie. And just to get us caught up here, this comes to us from IndieWire, who writes, Venom, Let There Be Carnage is the latest directorial effort from motion capture genius Andy Serkis, a sequel to the critically panned but hugely successful 2018 comic book tentpole film Venom, which earned over $800 million at the worldwide box office. Let There Be Carnage finds Tom Hardy reprising his eponymous, I always mispronounce his name, I always trip over my tongue, eponymous a character opposite new cast addition Woody Harrelson as the villainous Carnage. The movie also marks the return of Michelle Williams to the franchise as the introduction of Moonlight Oscar nominee Naomi Harris as Shriek, the love interest for Carnage. And that is, of course, what we have to look forward to here coming from Venom. Look, for me, to me, it's kind of a non-issue, to be honest with you. Like, when I've heard Venom was moving, yes, obviously, like everybody else, I'm like, oh no, what? Then you find out it's 3 weeks. Okay, so whatever. Now, of course, they could still move it again later. That is possible. And then the question arises, will this be the first domino to fall in other movies being moved around? Other than Halloween Kills, guys, because now Halloween Kills may have a motivation now to move dates, maybe. I don't think they have to move dates, but they might. But I don't think this is going to cause a domino effect personally right now. So I'm okay with the move. 3 weeks is nothing too big, so I'm not worried about it. Rob, you hear about this move. What was your first thought when you heard that Venom had moved again? And what do you think the overall implications or lack of implications are there now?
Well, I mean, I think No Time to Die is going to move into 2022. That's what I was thinking. But these films, they're too expensive. And whether you think about whatever you think, even Fast 9 grossing over $600 million, these films are leaving hundreds of millions of dollars on the table. even with streaming, I mean, they're leaving enormous amounts of money on the table. And the difference could be in 3 weeks, COVID cases could substantially subside. It could mean a lot of money. And I still, man, I don't think if I was putting out a tentpole movie that cost over $100 million, I don't think I'd release it in all of 2021, to be honest, because everyone's losing money. And I don't know how that can be sustainable. But it doesn't surprise me they pushed it a little bit, because it gives them 3 weeks, 2 weeks. It could be substantial.
Well, I mean, you raise a good point. I mean, during the pandemic stuff, we have seen both negatively and positively. We've seen things change on a dime before. Like, one thing looks one way one day, 3 days later it looks completely different. So 3 weeks could be a huge difference. Erin, you hear about this move. Were you surprised that they moved it? Then were you surprised they only moved it by 3 weeks? And do you think this will cause a domino effect, or do you think this is just an isolated thing?
Honestly, I think of it as a marketing move. I mean, what are we talking about? We're talking about Venom Carnage, and them moving 3 weeks means nothing. It's not like they're going to add any post-production. It's not like they're going to be able to do anything significant to affect the movie itself. But what does it do? It gets people talking about Venom. It also gets people excited about there's already pumpkins everywhere. You walk into any Rite Aid or CVS and they're already, Halloween has vomited everywhere. So we're already getting into the pumpkin spice latte spirit. And now we're talking about our Halloween movies. And I feel for people like me, who don't necessarily like to go to scary movies, but enjoy scary movies, it both excites me and terrifies me, because I know that spiders are going to be crawling all over the city soon. But also I go, wow, what a great month for going to the movies, being able to see Venom Carnage and being able to see Halloween Kills. This sounds like a fantastic opportunity for people who enjoy scary / thriller / comic book movies. I think this is a very exciting news. And yeah, I don't, the days when it was all about the opening weekend box office numbers, we're just not living in that world right now. I mean, I think that any movie that opened in 2020 and 2021, and God help us if it goes into 2022, those opening weekend box office numbers are going to kind of have an asterisk next to it. Like, well, this was their box office opening weekend, but pandemic, people are going to have, there's always going to be sort of an understanding of, well, people just weren't going to the movies in the same way that they were before. So I don't think that it is going to matter as much right now of like, ooh, which movie made more money opening weekend, Halloween Kills or Venom? I don't think that that's a conversation that really has any weight this year. So I think it's actually better for both movies that this move is causing the internet and people on YouTube like us to talk about Halloween Kills and Venom Carnage. It's just giving them more advertising, more marketing, more buzz, and more people already stirring up excitement 2 months in. Hey, stop it! Sorry, there's a cat fight back here. It only encourages more enthusiasm, more motivation for people to get pumped up about movies that are coming out 2 months from now.
Well, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this move of Venom? Again, if you were like me, you probably heard everybody saying, they moved Venom. It's like, what? But they moved it 3 weeks. What do you think this is significant at all? Do you really think it's just a blip? What do you think is going to happen with that 1 weekend with them and the new Halloween film? Whatever you guys are thinking, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.